for us to get dirty. It's your host, the Nerdy Cephalopod. I'm joined by Jen and Richard.
Hey.
And
Yeah.
I think we have some fun things to talk about today. And I got my beautiful, massive adult beverage here.
What you drink?
Yes.
Oh yes. it's called Good Boy Cinnamon Whiskey.
Oh,
And
gross.
No, it is delicious.
No, it sounds terrible.
Is it like
I
a
bet-
better
I bet
version
you
of
like-
Fireball?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you like Fireball.
And it's a higher proof. And it's a higher proof than Fireball.
Ooh, nice.
Fireball's the worst.
Well,
How could you?
How could
Fireball is perfect for when you just want to be trashy.
I
Yeah.
I can't do spicy stuff.
right. You're just
I'm a little bitch when it comes to spiciness.
And so,
and funny. You're like the spiciest person verbally that is on this
yeah, I know.
Discord, without a doubt.
Out of all of our friends,
Am I really?
Jen is
Yeah.
the one that just has that attitude where you're just like, did she really just say that? Damn.
I go in and I give no fucks. Oh no.
There were zero
saying-
fucks given that day.
The one saying right before the podcast that emotions don't matter or they don't trump facts. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. That you literally. I mean, you were
I
agreeing
literally
with
said
me.
that. Yeah, I was
But
agreeing
that
with you.
that was not actually what I was saying. I was gonna go in a different route, but I was like, I can't disagree. But
Oh, I mean,
I was just gonna make a self-deprecating joke, and then you're
um,
like, okay, no, let's get real. Let's bring out worldviews into this conversation. And it was like,
why?
well,
What?
So what
What's
you're
wrong
saying
with
is
that?
Jen is definitely a fan of Frederick Nietzsche.
I don't know.
uh-oh.
I don't know. Who
Is
that
God
is.
dead,
Frederick Nietzsche?
Jen? Is God
That
dead,
one guy
Jen?
had his own specific idea of what psychology should be.
What's that?
Hey, okay.
Isn't it Nietzsche?
Yes, Nietzsche was the man. He popularized the saying "God is dead," and of course,
All
be
praise.
careful of him. If you are to hunt a monster, be careful to not become one yourself. And
Oh, I love that
the,
quote.
And if you stare into the abyss, be careful that the abyss does not stare back.
I thought it was like, if you stare into the abyss
he's-
long enough.
Okay, sorry, that's the correct saying. But he's the man who popularized nihilism. You know,
Mhm.
but
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
What-
no,
what-
I'm a fan then.
Nihilist. I believe in nothing.
thank you, the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Apparently you got me because, yep, I'm a fan of those things.
Yes, it's just you have what people call a very cynical, bleak view on the world, but you could call it just being real. You view the reality in everything. Like no,
See, Max has a similar-ish viewpoint where it's like an optimistic pessimism.
oh no.
Yeah, that's kind of where I come from too, honestly.
Where it's like one of the things that he used to say to me all the time when we were first going out was like he prepare for the worst but hope for the best.
It's the other way around. Hope for the best, expect the worst.
Something. Well, no, it's like it's in preparation. Like you prepare yourself mentally for the worst possible outcome, but then you hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's how he said it. I don't care how other people say it.
Like,
Nah.
isn't he dyslexic?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, all right.
Damn.
You just
God
proved me
damn.
right.
God damn.
Oh man, why you
felt-
take
I've-
my husband down a notch on this? He's
I
not
felt
even here.
that from right here, man.
He's-
Shit, that was a
He's
bird.
busy. Can't even come down here to defend himself. She boy.
Sorry, Max. I'm sorry.
He probably doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, probably not.
No,
Respect.
I know Max, so I know the response he would have for that. He would just go, okay. Next comment.
That's the exact response.
Okay. No,
That's the
I
exact
love
response.
I love Max. So he would just have a very calm demeanor and just be okay. Let's move on.
He's more naive than you would think.
No, I refuse to believe this.
No, because like, okay, so when it comes to sex stuff, you know how like I
Uh-oh.
talk, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I've said
Like,
I've said
dear God.
raging
my
stuff
God.
in Discord before.
Oh my god.
You're like, if Pornhub was a person.
Yeah. Now imagine my exact opposite in that regard,
Oh.
and that is
Jesus.
Max.
What would that be? What would be the equipment of that? Like, Yahoo answers the person?
Okay,
No,
you want me to tell
Max
you a
is the
story?
last
You want me to tell you a
unicorn
story
in
about
human form. Incarnate.
You want me to tell you
Max
a
is the
story
last
about-
unicorn.
how we were married for 2 years and he was still afraid to go in and buy condoms on his own?
Aw.
Horrible. Did
Yeah.
he wear like sunglasses and a hat?
No, okay. So
Scarf
let me tell
too,
you.
for no reason.
Let me tell you the story. So we drive down to like a 7-Eleven or something because we were like, oh shit, we're out of condoms and we really want to get it on. So like I'm driving and we pull up to 7-Eleven and I'm like, okay, you get out and you get them, and he sits there in the car and just looks at me. And he's like, can you go get them? So I go inside. I grab the pack of condoms, slam them down on the counter, and just like look at the dude in the eyes. That's like I'm trying to feel this dude out to see like how cool he is. And I'm just like, okay, you saw that car that I pulled up in, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you see the dude out in the car over there? Yeah. He's like, that's my husband. He was too afraid to come in and buy these. Can you just hold them up at him and give him like a thumbs up real quick?
Oh god.
And the dude was like, yeah. And so he does it. Pay for the condoms. I come back to the car. Max just looks at me. He's like, not cool.
That's amazing.
Because he's
I
so
love it.
embarrassed. He's so embarrassed. He gets
my
super
God.
embarrassed about sex things.
You know
Damn, I
what?
thought I was bad. Jesus.
Dude.
It-
Like, don't even try to get him to talk dirty to me because he is not able to do it.
Oh my
It
god.
embarrasses him to no extent.
Why am I imagining the Jared from South Park that Mr. Satan was with? And he's trying to talk dirty to Satan. He's just, you like that, don't you, bitch? And Satan's just, no, please stop. This is not for you. This is not your
Yeah.
thing. Just stop.
Jared from
No.
Subway, wasn't it?
No,
No.
it was just a guy named Jared.
No, it's just,
Okay.
but he did look like Jared from Subway, the skinny version.
Right.
You know,
Not the
less-
pre-version?
Oh god.
like it was like a version of Subway that didn't diddle kids. That's
Oh
that Jared.
my god. Okay, I have to bring this up because I just found this out today.
What? What'd you find out?
A certain famous old Nickelodeon star was caught talking to minors online.
Are you talking about Ren and Stimpy creator that I brought up last week?
Nope. He had
Okay,
a
cool.
he had
'Cause I only found that out last week.
No. He had a certain TV show. It was a live action show. It was about two stepbrothers. It had an annoying rock theme song.
Sounds like something you'd find on Pornhub.
Oh god. No, it's Drake Bell. The guy who played Drake. Drake Bell.
No.
Yes, he was caught
He's-
talking to a 13-year-old.
Oh.
How old was he at the time that this happened?
This just happened like a week ago.
Oh,
And
yeah, no. Did the
Wait, were you there?
13-year-old happen a week ago, or did it get found out a week ago? Because
hold on, I will.
I
pull
actually
this
don't
up
know
right-
how old he is.
Okay, I'll
He's
actually
about our age.
He's like, no, we're old. We're old people.
No, he's about our age, bro. Maybe
Oh,
a little
he is
older.
our age. I thought you said he's not.
No, he definitely is, yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
Enough?
Oh God. Well, I've got a vibrator with your name on it, bud.
hold on. I'm gonna
As
pull
long
up
as you
the
don't have
article
Max
right
write it,
now.
he'll be fine. Sorry. Isn't he? Yeah.
Okay, former Drake Bell star arrested in Ohio. This was 7 hours ago.
What's up with
Oh,
Ohio?
straight up arrested, huh?
Did you hear
Yeah,
about
86.
Ohio?
He's 34.
He's 34. Oh my god, why
Yeah.
does he have to be the same age
Oh,
as me?
he's older
That's
than
not
me.
fair. That's not
Yeah.
fair. That's not fair. God damn it, he's the same
Oh,
age
man.
as me. I feel horrible.
Well, you've had some weird sexual exploits in your past.
Yes.
But nothing with children. Nothing with children at
Nothing
least.
with children.
I think.
Wow, thanks, Jen. No, nothing with children, okay?
Any further reaction?
Wow,
I'm trying to-
that was horrible.
No. Okay,
Look.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Look.
pretty bad. That was
Okay.
pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I'm a horrible person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
and I'm just
yeah.
leaving it there. No.
No,
That's it.
there's
That's
more
it.
to that sentence.
Oh, and I say horrible things.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Like, yes, Jen. I have been with quite a few partners in many interesting ways. Maybe
Well, as much as I talk.
Maybe one involved a fursuit. Maybe one was dressed as a comic book character.
Oh man, boy, you get some weird tales.
As long as it's not Superman, I'm cool with all of that.
No.
Because Superman is overrated, and then I would question all of your taste after that.
Okay, here we go. This was actually when I was in college. We went to the zombie walk in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. It was for the attempt for the largest zombie walk and for the Guinness Book of World Records. We were just a few thousand short. But I was dressed as Bub, and I had a sign that said Bub for President. And I'd walk up to people going, I'm sorry. Because that's what he did in the movie.
Mhm.
And at the end, my girl at the time, she was like pretty turned on. She was like, I want you to fuck me as Bub, and I'm going to dress as Mystique from X-Men. And I was like, yes.
Nice.
Yes. This is going to happen right now. There was so much makeup all over the place. But
So much makeup.
Oh my god.
it was worth it.
Said
It was
any
worth
straight
it.
man ever. So much makeup.
Dude, I am not straight. I am pansexual. Yes, I have been with a few guys.
Wait.
I am the farthest
Wait.
thing from straight.
Are you just
you're
now learning
attracted-
about this?
You're attracted to cookware?
No.
That was pretty good.
Okay. Okay. I know you're
That's pretty
joking.
good.
I know you're joking, but pansexuality is one of the oldest forms of sexuality. It's based on the god of Pan, because Pan didn't view a gender. He just wanted to fuck, get freaky. So
He's like any hole's a goal.
Oh,
Pretty
freaking
much.
out of you.
it's like I don't like if a person came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm a guy that's now a woman." It's like I don't care. I think you're a beautiful human being. Let's get it on.
Oh man, we went in a weird direction with our conversations today.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Hey, we gotta have a commitment for the dirty part, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
This
I was gonna
out.
tell you earlier about the the message that I sent Max.
Oh no.
Okay, so no, I told you it was like because we were on a diet. We're on
yeah.
keto. We're on keto. Like we've been on it for like almost 2 weeks now, and one of Max's favorite desserts is cheesecake.
Oh.
And I was like on thanks I hate it. And I found a picture. So let me put the picture up in Discord so you can see it.
Oh.
And I sent him I sent him just a message that said, I found a keto cheesecake. And I could see that he read it and he was about to respond, and then I sent this image.
You monster.
Yeah, so his response was just that meme of, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Because I bet he was looking forward to actually being able to have cheesecake.
That's horrible.
It is.
No.
It's just fucking. It's just cheddar cheese, man.
Now
Yeah.
we're actually going to start exploring into the realm of what we want to talk about today, which is the first part is I want to talk about comics. Nothing special. I just have it on comicbook.com just to give people an idea, but I just want to talk about comics. What do they mean to us? Because we call ourselves I know I openly call us nerds, but if you call yourself a nerd,
How dare you?
I used to sell magic cards to the geekiest guys that I'd ever seen in my life.
Oh,
I'm cool.
Like after one after another, you just kept thinking, no, that guy was the nerdiest guy I've ever met. No,
Oh,
this guy.
Okay, so I did play Magic for a short period of time,
It's a fun game.
and I understand like it was fun, but like I had some bad times with my ex because he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll teach you how to play," and I'm like, "Well, I kind of get the gist," and he's like, "Okay, well, here, let's play," and then he'd like defeat me like turn 3 or turn 4, and I'd be like, "Well, I didn't even get a chance to get." Like, I'm obviously a beginner, and then when Max and I started going out, like, I played a bit, and I had, like, a few decks that I really liked. But, when Max and I were engaged, this guy came in with his friends, and I swear they were, like, either just out of high school, or they were, like, seniors in high school, which didn't make this any better. But he started hitting on me really hard while trying to buy Magic cards.
yes.
And I'm like, well, I'm engaged. And he's like, that doesn't mean you're married yet. And I'm just like,
Did he have a
Kid.
neck beard? Did he have a neck
No,
beard?
no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Damn it.
It was just, it was
Did he
a
have a fedora?
milady. It was
Yes!
definitely a milady sort of guy
Yes.
because he came in with like a trench coat or something.
Oh God.
And it hurts a little bit because when I had to turn and tell my coworker what was going on, she's like, "Well, that is your type, isn't it?"
Oh God.
Because when Max and I started going out, he was like just out of high school.
Oh, that's so adorable. Oh God.
It hurts. They call me
really
Cradle
hurts.
Robert. I'm only 2 years older than him, and they called me Cradle Robert.
Well, you know
You
what?
could be 3 months older than him. They're still gonna say it.
Yeah, because he was fresh out of high school.
You know what? At least you didn't have a reputation for going out with strippers.
Well, I mean,
Well-
I can count the number of people that I've been with on one hand, so
Shut up.
like it's kind of a
Shut
reverse
up.
of how I talk, right? It's kind of a
Shut
reverse
up.
of how I talk.
Do not shame him.
I'm not
That is
shaming
not
him.
fair.
I'm
That
just-
is not
I'm just
fair,
saying.
Jid. That is
No,
not
no,
fair.
no, no, no. I'm just saying, like, based on how I talk, it's kind of surprising, isn't it?
Okay, that's fair.
It,
But is it though?
I don't know. Like,
but is
I have
it, though?
I have a bunch
That's-
of guy friends that I joke about shoving things up their butts.
That's normal, though. I think that's
Yeah.
normal.
Is that normal?
For everyone.
Because
It's normal for me. Like, most of my friends have been guys. I've had plenty of female friends. It's just like most of the group friends that I've had are guys. I was like,
Okay.
just whatever.
Quick
We
pause
always
on-
joke about shoving things up their butts.
Okay, before we go on with the did no one go to a college party? Dude, I will always vividly remember me and one other dude. We had the little guy Zach sandwiched between us, and we pulled the Deliverance, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make you squeal. And we,
Don't.
No.
Don't. That movie is like,
Nightmare fuel?
It's nightmare fuel. It's so. Okay, so I was innocent. Fresh out of high school, when my coworker at the comic book store was like, "Oh, I'm gonna ruin your innocence. Let's go have a movie day." And Deliverance was one of the movies that we watched. And then
please.
have you seen Meet the Feebles?
Yes.
Oh my god, we saw that one too. The rabbit with
Okay.
AIDS.
So, when I was in college, my friend Neil decided, I'm going to break your traumatizing movie virginity. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, B, you're not going to be the same after this. But no one called me B. I was either called Belgium or Waffles in college. I didn't
I like
have a normal
Waffles.
name. I didn't have a normal name for 2 years. Even my teachers
Waffles is
called
a
me.
cat's name.
What up, Waffles?
Even my teacher called me Waffles. Every teacher called me Waffles. I saw it on the attendance sheet. It said Brian/Waffles.
You
And
know
I
what
was, "This
Waffles is better
bullshit."
than? You know what Waffles is better than? Everyone called me Fish.
Oh.
Aw.
Oh.
Because I was the new girl at the comic book store, and that just
I don't like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. It was like I was the new fish in prison.
Okay. Oh.
New fish in
oh,
school?
That's horrible. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
so because there was another Jen that worked at the comic book store.
Okay, so my friend decided, he goes, all right, the first movie we're watching is Cannibal Holocaust. I'm like, oh, some cheat. Oh, God. Oh,
no.
God. Oh, my God. Oh. And after that one ended, I'm looking at him with the most death glare I've ever looked at someone. He goes, all right, time for the next movie. I'm like, you motherfucker. He goes, it's called Necromantic. And I'm like, huh? He goes, it's a German movie. I'm like, okay.
Oh, no.
He goes, it's a German movie about necrophilia. When that movie ended, I punched him in the arm so hard he fell off the couch.
Why did you stay though?
Because the girl I wanted to bang at the time was sitting on the couch with me. And I wasn't leaving.
Yeah,
Oh my
the
gosh.
torture guys will put themselves through to like impress a chick. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, I had a conversation with my brother-in-law, and he's like, inherently most guys are masochists, and I thought that was really interesting because I had zero evidence to refute that. Because anything like male-wise or any like friends, like, you know, the amount of torture they put themselves through for something that they want or just their day-to-day, you know, life, and they just deal with it. It's kind of disgusting.
Yes,
Like,
I hate
most
myself
women-
that I did that.
No, won't put up with shit.
Yeah.
We won't. It's like not particularly masochistic over here.
Yeah, no, because you're surrounded by choice as far as like dating goes. Like,
Let's be honest. More women are sadistic than anything.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
admit
what
to that.
will you
I'm a bit
do?
sadistic.
What level of suffering will you endure to enjoy my presence?
I have some new ideas that I'm gonna test out with Max now.
Oh boy, I'm sorry, Max.
Oh, God. You just turned her into a fucking dom.
I'm pretty sure she was one, anyways.
Well, we've
Jen,
been
do
married
you
for
have
10
a
years.
Jen?
Time
Do
to
you
spice
have?
it up.
Wait. Jen, do you have a blue rose on you anywhere on your person?
What? No.
Okay, she's
I
not
do have
BDSM.
a blue.
Is that a
I
sign
do
of a
have
dom?
a blue turtle
That's actually a sign of BDSM. If that you're into BDSM, is if you have a blue rose on your person.
What if you just like blue roses?
Well, I have a blue turtle shell from Mario Kart on my shirt. Does that count?
Yes.
I want it to count. I want it to count so much, but it's just
I got two different answers there.
it's like what? What? Are you just gonna start beating someone in a Mario voice?
I don't know. I was thinking about getting a writing crop.
Oh my. Okay.
What?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
who
it's time
just
for
joined
Brian
us?
to show up. Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. We'll
Sorry,
pretend this
sorry.
There's
conversation never
Princess.
happened.
There's our princess.
Turn yourself
Hi.
up, Brian.
I'm sorry. I was stuck in line at the store doing important store things.
As one
How
does.
important.
Well, I got me a new wax pen that I will be trying out in a little while.
Nice.
And that
Oh.
store took a long time to get through. A lot longer than I anticipated.
Hey Jen,
Uh,
I'm a
what?
third through that 50-ounce beverage.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yep.
So
He's
I
a trooper.
decided-
I feel
Either he's a
pretty,
trooper or he
so
has a
pretty. Okay, look, I'm Irish, dude. I am.
Are you?
Yeah, my grandmother came from the southern tip of Ireland. She came to America straight off the boat. She showed me the picture of when her family landed at Ellis Island.
I have a certain percentage of Irish in me, but I don't know what that percentage would be.
Dude, I'm just black and Irish.
Dude,
black
I'm
and
just
Irish.
I'm just all sorts of white European. And my mom swears up and down some portion of Cherokee, but I don't believe it.
Dude, my mom's the same way. You
It's
just
like
want to be
everyone
Indian.
everyone says they got like a certain amount, and it's like you don't really know.
I mean,
Would you actually I have a interesting story for you. And on the black side of my family, my grandmother, the family legend goes, that my great
The legend?
yes, this is actually how it goes. My great grandfather, when he was taken from Ghana as a slave and brought to America, he was so cantankerous and mean, he fought his way off the ship and fled to the Choctaw Indians.
I have a history question. Is Ghana where most of the slaves came from? Because I remember
No.
the king of Ghana was like the most
Ethiopia.
wealthiest person in the world.
Ethiopia, you're thinking of Ethiopia. Ethiopia was one of the most wealthiest nations in Africa in the beginning.
I don't know. Have you I heard it from that This Is the History of the World, I guess.
He can kiss
that
my
video.
ass. He can kiss my ass.
Ew.
In actuality, Ethiopia was one of the most ancient wealthy kingdoms in Africa in the beginning. And when they started to lose their wealth, they were the ones that first established the trade routes of slaves to the white man and for Europeans for the slave trade. And then it slowly progressed to other nations throughout Africa. And so, and my family, some of our people came from Ghana, and then a large majority of them settled into Barbados and Puerto Rico.
Barbados.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome to the podcast, Brian. First topic, slavery.
Yeah.
Wow.
First topic that he was here, he missed all the sex stuff.
Yeah, you did.
You
missed
the fun stuff. You missed the fun stuff, dude.
That's fine. I'll live.
Oh wait, we're gonna bring it back to the sex stuff.
Yes!
Jen, I admit it. I'm big in the BDSM, and that's why I laughed my ass off when you post that joke about a dungeon master. I was like, but I like both.
Yeah, it was just a joke, man. It was just like it was something my cousin sent me.
Oh, wow.
What?
Is she a dom?
What? No, he is single and hating it.
That's
he pretty?
Unfortunate. Is he pretty?
I don't know. He's older. I will tell you that he's older than you, though.
Oh.
You know, the first woman I hooked up with was when I was 19. She was 40 years old.
Okay, well he's getting
Nice.
close to 40.
She should be in jail, but nice.
He's on the precipice of entering his 40s. So.
Was she your teacher?
But I don't think he'd be interested.
She was someone
I think he's straight.
With. She was just someone I went to school
with.
with.
College. Right.
Yep.
Forget that exists.
I'm pretty sure he's straight though, so because I've only ever known him to date women, and then he was married for 10 years, and then that ended not well.
Oh god, that reminds me of my last girlfriend. That relationship. Whew.
That good, huh?
Oh,
No.
Bad.
No.
Insanity.
Oh, by the way, Jen. Important note for you: Kat will be doing some edibles later.
Nice.
I'll do
Oh
edibles with
my
her.
god.
I'll do them with her.
I got her some watermelon gummies.
Ooh,
That's what I have. I have some watermelon gummies. Well, I still need to finish the blueberry ones first, or raspberry ones.
Okay,
But
we've had all right, guys. We've had our fun. Now since B
back to the comic books.
Now since B has joined us, Jen, before we continue on with
Comic books?
before I want to know more about what do comics mean to you as a person, do you have any good cringe stories from the comic book store?
Oh, comic book store. Okay. So the comic book store that I worked at had multiple locations in different malls, but we had one main building that the owner had that, like, if a store closed down, we'd bring everything into that building because it was, like, huge. It was practically like a warehouse. And so we had this one area that was meant for 18 plus only because we had, like, porn and shit back there, obviously.
Oh, God.
Like comic book porn.
Like hentai.
And like hentai. There was like
As you do.
Wait, no one read Heavy Metal? You guys didn't read
anatomically
Heavy Metal?
correct action figures.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, I saw the movie.
There's some old collectible Playboys back there from the old days.
Those are worth some money.
And
As long as the pages aren't sticking together.
And a lot of furry porn.
Ugh.
like a whole lot of that. So there've been a couple of instances of people going back there and then leaning over the area where the comic books are, and you can't see where their hand is on the video.
Oh no.
And so
Oh, no.
what they didn't realize is that there's 2 cameras that are like staring at them in there, like from different angles. And we have
Oh my God.
microphone on those cameras.
Oh my
so
God.
that from the front of the store where we watch them, we can just hit a button and be like, hey, stop that, bruh. And so we've scared a few people that way. There was some guy in a wheelchair that was refusing to leave, and he made a mess back there, and it wasn't like throwing comic books everywhere mess. It was kind of like a
Throwing
have to
fluids
get the mop kind of mess.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah.
look.
You were
there
his
was
only
there
outlet.
were kids trying to sneak back there. Oh, there was this. Okay, you want a cringe story?
Yes.
Okay, so when Max and I first started going out, I was gonna meet his dad one day, like right after work. So I dressed up nice, and I had to be dressed up at work because I was gonna be picked up right afterwards. And this guy came in, and he's like really fucking creepy. Like he'll hit on literally anything with a hole that has tits.
Oh no.
Tits in a hole is what he's looking for. What makes it worse is I don't know if he necessarily needed the tits, because he kept talking about like how him and his nephew play this vampire game where they bite each other on the neck.
Oh no.
And he started following me around the store asking me when I got off work. And the problem was, even though I was like 20 at the time, everyone thought I was like 15 or 16 at the most because I looked young. And so he's following me around, asking me what time I get off work, how old I am, where I live, what's my phone number, come on, can't we just hang out? This guy's like at least in his late 40s, at least. I finally had to like book it out of there and get like my coworker to step in. And here's the thing is, most of us are female. Most of the people that worked at these comic book stores are female. We had like 60 to 70% workers female, the rest male. And this guy got kicked out of the store because he wouldn't stop like fucking stalking me and trying to look down my shirt. And I found out later that he's also been banned from one of our other stores in a mall. That this lady that looks like Mrs. Claus works there, and that he wouldn't stop showing up or calling and asking her for sexual favors. And I'm not joking, this lady looked like Mrs. Claus.
Oh, this.
I
my
mean,
face- oh my God. Okay.
You gotta admire his tenacity. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that is a
Okay,
man
hold
that
on.
knows what he wants.
Yeah,
I have
I'm
to-
really glad I wore pants that day, because when he first came in, he kept trying to get me up and down on the ladder, like asking for
Oh.
things that were too high. And I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm glad I wore pants today. Because
Okay. Wow. Oh man. Oh my goodness. So, B, do you have any good cringe stories from when, like in the past, of going to like comic book shops and stuff?
I mean, outside of just being like creepily followed around with Kat and having someone like kind of creepy follow her, not particularly. I didn't spend a whole ton of time in comic book shops.
yeah, I spent 4 years in one. I got a few. I got
But-
a lot.
But I do remember some did I ever tell you guys the time I guess it's not really a cringe story, it's more of like a fucking horror story. But there was a time where I almost got shanked with like a poop screwdriver.
Tell me this. Tell me this right now.
A poop screwdriver?
We
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to hear this. We need to
Okay.
hear this.
Poop knife.
I mean, no. This is a screwdriver. Okay,
Covered
so,
in poop?
Well, there was a layer
it
of
came
poop
out of
on
him?
it.
Oh, did it come out of his butt?
I would hope it was his poop. If it were anybody's,
He's just
Dude,
the neighborhood
B,
plumber.
you're making
Don't worry
more
about it.
questions for me right now. You need to tell me this story.
Okay. So years ago, I used to work as like a private patrol, like a security guard. But I drove around in like a security car with a gun and all that kind of good stuff. The company, like, long story short, the company I worked for was really sketchy and would have you like go pretend to be a cop, pretty much, in these like apartment complexes. But that's not really the problem that happened. So the main thing, like our main thing that we did was pretty much kick out bums from apartment complexes. Like if you'd go, like I'd go to like 14 sites a night, and it was like 12 to 14 hours of driving, because I'd go from Victorville to Long Beach, which is a pretty long drive, and I'd be going to all different sites in between. So this one site, I always hated going there just because it felt like an apartment complex that you would get murdered in. First of all, like, it was very open, and it always had a weird smell, and like it was a very open, like it was like a prison courtyard almost. And it was huge, and it always had this very weird smell, like someone was cooking like chilies and ass, and anyway, so one night it's like 4 a.m. It's the last place I had to go to, and I pull in and I do my rounds. I do one. It's like one lap around the complex in the car, and then I'm supposed to pull out and take off. And as I get to like the last corner, I see a guy, and he's like going through the trash cans. No big deal. Happens all the time. You just go, hey buddy, you gotta go. You can't be in the complex. Can't go through the trashes. Just those are the rules. You gotta go. And mind you, like, I'm armed, so generally they fucking go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, I guess, just was not all there. And he like looked at me, and he started mumbling some batshit nonsense. And he picks, like, I'm probably like maybe 15, 20 feet away. And he pulls this, like, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a knife at first. But he pulls it out, and he's like kind of like making this like weird kind of motion at me, like he's gonna come at me. Like he's like, yeah, like kind of like, you know what I'm saying? And so I drew my gun, and I'm like, fucking put it down. And all of a sudden it's like he kicked back into normal, and he dropped it on the floor and runs off. And so I obviously have to report all this shit. Technically, okay. This is just between us, you guys. But I didn't report the part where I pulled my gun out, because that takes investigation. I just reported the part that when I yelled at him, he dropped it.
That's good.
But anyways, falsifying reports aside, after he ran out of the building, well, I want to do all that shit. That's a lot of paperwork. It was 4 a.m. I wanted to go home. I wanted to go fuck home. I was like, dude, I almost got stabbed. And so anyway, I take my flashlight over, and I go see what the fuck he had, because he dropped it, and it's a fucking rusty screwdriver, and it's coated in shit.
That makes me wonder where he wanted to stab you.
I don't know or care at that point. Like, I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And like, so I had to take photos of it and like send them to my boss, and like fucking I took it, and like I told him, like, do you want me to bag it and bring it back to you? And he's like, no, just throw that away. Like, normally we're supposed to bag shit, but he was just like, no, I don't want anything about
It's
that.
a shit covered screwdriver. Nobody wants it near them.
Like please don't bring that back to work. Like, what's worse is when I would have to bring things back, like, with me, we would leave the car in this like gated. It was a trailer park, but I guess it was one of his main contracts. So we would bring the car and like stash it in a trailer park, and it would just sit there all day. And he would come check on the car at some point during the day. But if I had to bring him something, I'd just leave it in the car, like on the other seat or in the glove box or something. And so when I asked him, he like took a minute and considered that it was the middle of summer, and I would be putting a shit-covered screwdriver in a baggie and putting it inside the glove box in a hot fucking Crown Vic all day. He was just like, "Nah, just throw that out. Just throw it out. Just." He's like, "What's done is done. No harm, no foul. Just get rid of it." He's like, "I don't want to. I don't need it. Just the picture's good enough."
Jeez.
But I mean, technically a cringe story in a way, in the sense that it's pretty fucking gross to have nearly been stabbed. Well, it's pretty fucked up in general, but it's pretty fucking gross to have nearly been stabbed by a shit
stick.
driver. A shit driver.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So-
Do you want to take this back to like a more innocent conversation? Is like I have a couple things. I have one thing that made Max furious when I told him about what happened at the comic book store.
Oh.
I don't know if you want to hear it. It made him it made him so angry. Okay, so
yes. Good.
You know Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
Yep.
You know that it's Max's favorite movie of all time?
Okay, so he's like a goth girl.
Yeah, he is, and I love him for it.
Does he have big old titties?
Not that you'll ever know.
Damn it, Max.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But
I mean, last I saw him, Max got the cake though.
So yeah, he does. He gets it all the time that he wants it. But anyway,
no. He got his own cake.
Well, he's losing that cake. We're on a diet.
Okay, I need to know more about. I need to know more about this. How this relates to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, so this kid comes into the comic book store, right? We have a shit ton of stuff there, like just all over the place. Action figures, collectibles, whatever. We get stuff from Japan. This whole section of manga and like collectible toys from Japan, whatever. We have a bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff too. And this kid comes in, like probably like 12, somewhere between like 11 and 14. And he's like decked out, his t-shirt, just a hat, like a wrist thing, all the stuff. He's decked out in like Night Before Christmas Jack stuff. And he comes up and he's like, "Oh, I really want this chain wallet that you guys have." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I'm like, "So you really like the movie, huh?" And he's like, "What movie?"
Oh, God damn it.
And I'm like, "The Nightmare Before Christmas." And he's like, "What? It's a movie?" And I'm like, "What'd you think?"
What?
Oh yeah, I'm at work. I have to be nice. It runs through my head. I'm like, "Yeah, it's from a movie."
It might. Yep.
And Max got super angry about that because he was ready. He's a huge fan. He knows all the words to the songs.
Okay. Wow. Are you ready to hear about how I stuffed a guy in a trash can?
Oh, you stuffed a dude in a trash can. There's
Alive,
people that I wish I could do that to. Well, I mean, doesn't matter.
Okay, so first of all, this was the like epitome of what a Chad bro is.
Oh, are you a Chad bro or is he a Chad bro?
He was a Chad
bro.
He was
he's a Chad.
So like this was like the dictionary definition of when you look at someone who's just a Chad.
There is somebody that plays Destiny with the username Chad Thundercock, by the way.
Oh God!
Just thought you needed to know that.
Like, what already pissed me?
I'm not shocked.
Like what already filled me with rage was when I looked at this guy. He looked like Logan Paul, so he already pissed me the fuck off. Just looking at him. I was like, I want to fucking hit you already, motherfucker. And he's just going off on the poor girls at the fucking counter, and then he just starts berating them with all that sexist fucking bullshit that girls can't know comics, all this other bullshit. I couldn't take it, Jen. I couldn't take it anymore. So I walk up behind him.
Dude, you don't even know. You don't even know.
So this is what I did. I honestly, and this is actually where it gets great. So I tap him on his shoulder. He turns around, and then I dip down low and I grab his fucking ankles and I put him into a fireman's carry. And I go, "I'll take this trash out for you." Yes. And you know John Cena. Have you ever watched WWE?
No.
Has anyone watched WWE? John
Yeah,
Cena.
I
I don't watch dramas with half-naked men.
John Cena's finisher when he has the STFU. Yeah,
No,
I
I
fucking
don't know
stuffed that motherfucker head first straight into a trash can.
Basically,
And then-
where you like fireman's carry on your shoulders, and then you tilt him head first towards the ground and you slam him.
Yep.
Hey, B,
oh no.
what,
and then
what
Richard.
comic
And then
book store did
and
you
then
shop at?
Oh no. And then I just want to finish this too. And then the last thing I did
what?
was I sat down at the bench right across from that trash can, waiting for him to get out.
What comic book store did you shop at?
I shopped at quite a few.
B?
Which B?
Yeah.
I only call one person B and I only call one person Brian.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh nope. I know who she's talking about. She's talking about me being Brian, B being B.
No, other way around.
It's the other way
Other way around. Brian is
Oh.
Brian because I met him first.
That drink is hitting you hard, B.
See, I'm Brian Classic, like OG
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
And you're like
You're
like
retail,
B2.
Brian. You're retail.
You're
B.
B2.
Oh God, I'm an off-brand Coke.
Yeah. It was like so
Okay.
B, what comic book stores did you shop at?
Oh,
RCB.
I have shopped at
I'm just seeing
quite
if
a few.
he ended up shopping at one of the ones that I worked at.
well,
So,
he
That's all
lives
I'm
in
trying to figure
Colorado.
out.
Right? I
This
thought
is
he lived in a
actually
totally
really
other
funny.
state.
This is actually really hilarious you bring this up, because I've been to San Diego. Me, my brother, and my dad spent a week in San Diego. Oh dear God, I think that's the shop me and my little brother went to.
Is it? Because that's the one that I worked at. We had a bunch of them out here that were like in the malls, but then there was the main big one. Like, have you been to the main big one?
Did it have a
Murals on the side of the building.
No. Did it have a glass casing of Action Comics #1? Or
Yes.
Detective Comic? Oh my God! Yeah, I went there. Me, my bro, and my little dad went there.
When did you go?
I can tell you exactly when I went because we went right before Comic-Con started for the year of 2011.
Oh, after I quit. You went after I quit.
Oh my God, that is fucking hilarious.
You went shortly after I quit because I'm pretty sure I started working like in 2006, and then I quit like somewhere in 2011.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
I quit like spring 2011, I think. So it was just before you went there.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's fucking crazy. Is like, so did you go to the building with the murals on the side, or did you go to one of the mall stores?
The murals on the side. We went to the actual separate building with the murals.
Yeah, so you saw how big that building was though, right?
Yes.
There's even a huger area in the back, like past the cash register and where they have the statues. Is like there's a huge area back there that's just like comic book boxes on comic book boxes on comic book boxes, like to the ceiling.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking? Yeah. So did you see
Yes.
the 18 plus area that I was talking about? That was just like it's a area in the back on the other
So
side.
now since I
that
know
is, like,
exactly what building you're talking about, I know what section you're talking about, and I laughed my fucking ass off because I was looking in there and I was like, do I see any sweaty people in there?
Yeah. That's there's 2 cameras
right.
in that room to keep an eye on people that go in there, and from the register you can press a button to talk to people.
Wait a minute.
In there.
Oh my God. What makes it even better is I think that was the year that episode of South Park came on about jacking it in San Diego. So
Oh really?
I think
Oh
me and
my
my
gosh.
little brother were singing that. Jacking it in, whacking it,
No,
smacking
I
it, smack.
think it's hilarious
Jacking it,
that you went there.
jacking it, smack.
I think it's hilarious that you went there like just after I quit. That's the most hilarious thing to me because I quit in like April-ish.
Oh, and Richard, I actually used to have a. Thankfully, I've calmed the fuck down since I'm. Actually, wait, no, I haven't. Not really that much, because just a few years ago. Because what happened? We're in this really rich, snooty area of Colorado, like So I swear to God, these people would have their pinkies raised for the etiquette, and it's just like, oh, you snooty motherfucker. But somehow there's just this dirty, grimy motherfucker, and he's walking by my niece, and my niece is fucking 4 years old at the time. She's my baby girl, and he's trying to talk and touch on my niece. And I just remember at the time,
Ew!
No, Jen, this is exactly what I remember happening at this moment.
Ew.
I'm right by my sister, and I have my dog, and she's a puppy at the time, and I go, hold my fucking dog. And I slam my leash into my sister's hand, and I just take off at the motherfucker.
That's fucking gross. Oh.
I've never seen a man run that fast in my life.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, this man is going to beat me.
Well, for good reason, bud.
Yeah.
Some people just need to be castrated.
Well, no, and what made it even funnier is that because this was such a snooty area, you had people going, oh my God, so uncouth. That man was going to attack him. And it's like,
what would you do? What would you do?
I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, what the fuck would you do in that situation? You see some creep trying to touch a child.
We all know the affluent is protective of pedophiles, so let's not even be that shocked about this.
Very true.
Didn't kill himself.
Well, you probably... No, you probably didn't know.
Exactly.
Dude, let's just be honest. That's common sense. We all have brains. We all have brains, and it's like, really? Come on. We don't even need to do a conspiracy
We all have them,
dive.
but do we use them? More at 6.
And are you surprised that he has ties to the British royal family? No, we're not.
Nah.
Oh man, that is.
What was it, Prince Charles that got caught with that?
Yeah.
God damn it! That just reminded me because now I don't.
And where has he been the last year?
Didn't he die or something? I don't know.
No,
no,
Prince Andrew hiding.
That was Prince Andrew who died.
No, Philip.
Sorry, Prince Philip died. Sorry.
Prince Philip was he what?
He was the queen consort.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
The royal fuck buddy.
Yeah, you know he was a Nazi. You know he was a Nazi motherfucker, right? Though he was a huge Nazi sympathizer.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Lots of footage of Philip and Hitler hamming it up.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Look up the Eagle's Nest. Look up the Eagle's Nest footage. It's in color with Prince Philip and fucking Hitler just hamming it up.
I don't need to waste space in my brain for that memory.
She doesn't like history.
Oh, I like history. I just I don't like I don't like knowing about certain people.
True. I will say yeah.
I'm like the fact that I have the knowledge that he was friends, quote unquote, with Hitler is enough. I don't need to see pictures of it.
You know what knowledge I wish I didn't know is the true knowledge of Mother Teresa.
Oh yeah. Oh, that shit's juicy.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh
Talk about a
God.
twist.
It's the two figureheads of like being being good people, Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi. But when you learn about both of them, you're just like, oh, God damn it!
Don't you just expect that from the church anyway?
Right.
I mean,
God damn it! God damn it!
Let's not shit on religion, but all of it is useless.
Well, I mean, okay. Let's take it as if you took religion and just removed the religious aspects of it and took it as stories that you could learn from.
Oh, you mean what
they're very poorly written stories.
You mean what the Bible is an acronym for, which stands for Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth?
Anybody could make anything into an acronym. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, got you there.
Dude, you can actually look that up. That's actually a lot of people believe that.
Well, I mean, a lot of people believe it because it's so easy to believe.
Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth.
And it doesn't require any brain power for them to realize that acronyms weren't really used en masse, especially in English, back in like biblical times.
It's one of the rare times I agree with Jen.
Do we disagree that often?
Oh yeah, we do.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. I'm gonna battle you on this on a second.
Yeah, I am holding my phone.
Battle me on what?
I'm gonna battle you on the idea that they didn't use acronyms in ancient times.
I don't know.
So
I said English.
Well, no, because the only reason why I'm saying this is because there was a period of time where I loved to study religion, but that just doesn't stand at Christianity. I went through a deep dive of studying of the Quran, Hinduism, and Judaism, and one of the subjects I loved studying in Judaism is Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism. The way they wrote in the Kabbalah, I can't say it's acronyms, but they had peculiar ways of writing. You know the Roman cipher goes back to before BC.
You know it brings up what
So I definitely combat
mentioned.
that acronyms were actually used in ancient times.
But I mean,
will
they
combat
also
that.
they also had a common vernacular, just like we do, where it's something that isn't exactly part of language, but it's something that people use. Like, yeet isn't a fucking word.
Okay, that is not a word. I will not try to fight for that.
Hold on. Yeet is absolutely a word, and I will fucking die on this. I will yeet you off the top of that hill.
It's my point of common vernacular changes over time. It's like fad words. So, like, we don't know what kind of common vernacular was used in ancient times because that constantly changes over time. Things are used, things are lost. It doesn't usually become part of the actual language.
Also, and this is a point to Jen, in my opinion, but the way that we write in English, it wouldn't make sense. The languages don't just your syntax, subject, verb, all that kind of stuff. When they go in a certain order in English that makes sense, in Roman or Latin or whatever they were written in, it wouldn't probably make sense to put it in that order.
True enough.
On a lighter note.
But okay, you know what? There's actually is one little thing that's just reminded me of something. I've always wanted to discuss this point before we go back to comics.
Oh, I was going to go somewhere else, but okay.
Oh, no, this is before that.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to be talking about things.
I'm actually talking about something mythology-wise, but have you guys ever noticed how it's kind of funny how every culture you can find the fine lines of something that's similar? Like, it's just funny how it seems like every culture, do they get in a fucking round table and go, all right, guys, we're all zombies? Fuck yeah, we're all going to do it. We'll all find our own ways to do it.
Every culture has a version of dragons.
Every culture has a version of dragons. Every culture has a version of fairies. Every culture has a version of zombies. Every culture has a version of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's just something to think about and then be like, yep, that's true. There's no way to.
I know. It's a stupid point, but it's but people always want to point out, well, there's a reason why these legends exist, and it's like, is there? Did fucking some people in certain parts of culture at some point in time all see a dragon? Did someone... Well, granted, yes, I love the joke. That's my favorite joke about with Easter is that, granted, it is a pagan holiday. That's my first thing to say is it's orgy day. But then the second funny point is when you bring it to the Christianity point is I always say, oh, it's Happy Zombie Day.
Yeah.
Because we're celebrating a zombie. You know that, right?
Yeah. He came back from the dead. Oh, this holy zombie.
I always wondered about that.
That's actually the second instance of a zombie in the Bible, to be honest. That's the second instance of a zombie.
Yeah,
Okay.
but is it
Okay.
because like I have this theory about like people talking about people coming back from the dead like only a few days after they supposedly die, and it's like, are you sure they weren't just in a coma and you guys didn't have any kind of medical intuition to know that dude was just in a coma?
Oh, are you talking about someone that they're saying that they were brain dead, but then they miraculously woke up and were like, "Hey, I'm not brain dead anymore."
Yeah, something
Well,
like that.
well, not necessarily brain dead. You don't normally come back from brain death without really.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well,
You're right, B. No, you're 100% right.
Or just normal coma shit.
Yeah, just normal coma. Just like so much pain you collapse.
Yeah, like you got hit really hard in the head and like you were out for a few days and the doctors didn't think you were gonna make it, but you did anyway.
Okay, okay. So on a much lighter note, though, I know we were talking about comics, but this was a really important thing for me. I
Hmm.
imagined this last weekend.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
fuck comics.
I wasn't
Fuck
sure if you
comics.
wanted to
Somebody-
talk about that.
We can
Somebody
skip. We can
hallucinated.
skip comics. This is actually a very important topic for me as well.
Oh, we can come
I
back to
wanna ta-
comics, but I mean, like, honestly, the name of this channel is perfect because we can never stay on topic.
Oh, we
Yeah.
certainly cannot.
Yeah, but we are entertaining, so don't sell yourself short.
Art is
Okay.
entertaining.
It's
though.
actually really, dude, guys. I watch our shit all the time, and it's actually it's actually really funny.
I was
I-
actually playing WoW the other day, and I was listening to our last podcast, and I was like, "Wow, that was actually a really funny moment." Like every 5 minutes, which is that ratio is a little off, but
Hey, that's
Yeah.
enough for
I
me.
mean,
That's
still
enough for me,
entertaining.
dude. I have fun listening to us. So-
Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
But then I
don't know if I
compared-
could-
Then I
don't-
compared our podcast though to other podcasts. For instance, Tiger Belly, which is a Bobby Lee podcast, which I enjoy. It's pretty funny, and it's close-ish in comedic quality. Well, he's an actual comedian.
Yeah.
So he's got a
yeah,
leg up there.
So
That's
that's
why
kind of
I'm
hard to compare.
confused.
So yeah,
I mean, we can probably continue stroking our egos after stream, but
Yeah, oh man, no.
I
I'm
prefer
sorry.
to do it when people are watching.
I don't.
Oh.
I don't do it at all.
But no, B, please tell me more about your experience, please.
Wait,
Oh.
I really want to know.
okay,
So,
okay.
so first you have to explain. First you need to explain what you have and why you can't.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So for anyone listening that doesn't know, I don't think we've ever actually brought up the full brunt of it on podcast. But I have what's called aphantasia. Essentially it boils down to I have zero ability to visually imagine things in any capacity normally under normal circumstances. So to clarify what a lot of people usually ask, no, I can't imagine a ball. If you tell me to imagine a ball, I have a mental narrator that would describe that ball to me, and anyone who was listening to me might see the ball in their heads, but I would not. So that being said, I have pretty much gone my whole life not realizing that my way of imagining things was different from others. And a couple years ago, I found out about that, and it really kind of set me on a journey to figure out more about it. And I will say that for the longest, when I thought people were imagining things with their minds after I found this out, I sort of, I guess, wrongly understood it as if like you guys, everyone else would see images in their head, sort of like on a movie screen, if that makes sense. Like I couldn't understand, my brain couldn't understand being able to see three-dimensional images in your mind. It just didn't make sense. My mind couldn't process that. So that being said, this past weekend, I decided to do a little bit of a science experiment, and I went ahead and tried some magic mushrooms. And and
Magical.
it was a journey.
Was that
So
your first time?
that was my first time. Yeah, I had never attempted mushrooms. I did attempt once with salvia, and I
Ugh.
didn't see anything. It tasted horrible. It didn't feel good, and it didn't. The most important, it didn't work on me. And so there's a large percentage of people who have aphantasia who cannot see with hallucinogenic uh, substances. They don't see anything, and so I wasn't sure where I fell in that in that spectrum, and it would turn out that I actually am in the percentage of people that can see images in my mind under the influence of hallucinogenic substances, which was interesting to find out and definitely fun. If not a little terrifying, but even the terrifying parts were sincerely interesting to me. Like the parts where I should have been probably freaking out, I was mostly in awe of the fact that my mind could generate this. Um, so I guess, I'll just kind of like walk you guys through what happened to me.
Yes.
So essentially, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes after ingestion. And I was documenting best I could throughout all of this, by the way. But about 40 minutes after ingestion, I kind of started noticing things were looking weird in the bedroom. I was looking at my ceiling fan, and it was kind of blurring oddly. And I started to think, oh, maybe it is working. Maybe this is gonna do something. And so I closed my eyes, and the weirdest thing happened because I'd never seen anything like this. It was the weirdest thing to me. But my eyes, when I closed my eyes, I started seeing in the darkness that is, the back of your eyelids, these like fractals starting to draw out in like not really a light because there wasn't any light. I'm sitting in the dark, But it was these fractals started playing out in my eyelids, and they started getting more and more dense like every minute. They were starting to get like more complex. And it was a little while after that when I was sitting there and I knew my cat had just hopped on the bed, and I'd been kind of just staring at the ceiling. And I knew my cat had hopped on the bed, and I kind of freaked out because I was looking straight like at the ceiling, and I felt the cat right next to my head, but I didn't see the cat. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was having a hard time processing that. And then I realized that my eyes were closed, and I had been imagining what my room looks like around me so clearly that at some point those fractals had become what was the reality around me.
Whoa.
It was absurd, and I don't have a word for it to, like, I'll be honest, it was really hard to focus on that, but at that point I honestly and deeply, like, I cried, from like the bottom of my soul to be able to be like, I could see something in my mind. It's not broken,
Yeah, because I remember you told me before, like you were telling all of us that when you first realized that we were seeing images in our head, like, because you DM and I DM, and you were a bit jealous of the fact that we'd be able to have this like little movie going in our head about like what our characters are doing during D&D sessions and what they look like.
That's the thing. It's not even a jealousy, to be honest.
May I read this quote to you guys after you're done, B?
Sure. Yeah, it's not a jealousy or anything like that. It's like a hurt. It's like a deep kind of sadness that wells up when I think about it, when I ponder on it, because it's it's the understanding that I love to bring things into this world for other people, and at the same time, those things that I bring into this world when I DM or when I write, they don't exist for me. The possibility isn't there for me to ever normally experience that. And it's just it's almost like a regret, but there's nothing that I could regret, if that makes sense. It's a feeling of just not being whole, I guess would be a good way to explain it. And yeah, it's never a jealousy sort of situation. It's more of just a deep sadness that I don't I it's like I don't maybe deserve that, or I was not born with it. I was not lucky enough to be given that common thing. And it does, it hurts is is the best way to put it. It hurts to find out that something that is so innate and so moving to some people to have the ability to, you know, sort of live in your own world for a moment. It hurts to know that I don't have that escape. Okay, well, you had a quote there, B.
All right, this is actually how I feel about every time I hear this, B. And since you just had this moment, this honestly feels the best for me. I would spread the cloths under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams. I've spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams.
Yeah, no.
I've been trying so hard, because I just wanted you, because I feel every moment you don't have that, get to see that, and it's like, yay, you've finally encroached into what my dreams are like.
Yeah, no, that's that kind of hits the old feels. It's yeah, it makes sense. So outside of just that, you know, there was a lot of other crazy stuff that happened that night, but that first realization of this is working, and like something's happening, it was a little life changing for me. So it was my first experience with magic mushrooms, and with hallucinogenics mostly altogether. But yeah, I would say that we probably overindulged, I guess would be the way to put it. We took a lot more than was advisable.
Didn't Kat have like a not so great trip?
She did. She doesn't. That's the thing. I don't think she regrets it. She was kind of like, man, mine wasn't nearly as good. Like after the fact, obviously during it, she was not having a great time, and I would never like make her do it again, kind of thing. But we talked about it after the fact, and she was like, yeah, no, that was like, I just wish mine was more fun, and you know, and we kind of left it at that, and that was the other thing. I sincerely, in beforehand, I already was interested in the helpful properties of psilocybin with depression.
For depression, so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You got it close. You got it close enough.
Verbal dyslexia.
Yeah.
No, psilocybin.
See why him and Max are friends?
Yeah.
No, him and Max are friends because I was an idiot and I went on Reddit and was like, yeah, I'll meet people from online.
Don't do that.
That's a whole other story.
Okay. Sorry. Stay on topic, Brian.
Oh no, I was ready to go into that story.
Yeah, he's ready.
Okay. So
stop making me tear up. This is a
yeah.
I agree.
So those,
I'm actually being serious.
the idea behind studying it for depression and for in particular for my situation, I was already for that, but now, I mean, I was made a believer. I'll tell you that. Uh, and my you have no idea my friend that kind of helped me out with this journey here. He was so excited to hear about it. Like he was like, "Oh man, I wish you had documented it." And then I sent him a screenshot of my documenting it, and he was like, "Oh, you're the best." He just loves like studying like philosophy and psychology, so that was like A+ for him. But
Yes.
but yeah, so I will say though, Kat and I to an extent do deal with some depression. You know, with sometimes it's just hard to shake that feeling. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that afterwards, I will say from my own experience, I so you know once everything was all said and done, I was pretty hungry, so I you know this is well after all this is done, like it's out of us, but I went for food, and that was the first time I'd left the house since, and it was still late, it was still dark, and and I will say that driving to work some nights, I was starting to think maybe my glasses were messed up or my eyes were messed up, and that maybe you know things are just maybe the lights are out in these streets. Like everything kind of just felt like to an extent dark. Like everything was like everything I looked at kind of had like a dark pallor to it. If that makes sense. Like
No, that makes 100% sense. You're speaking way too much sense right now for me.
so when I was driving to go get some food, you know, it was like 4:35 in the morning. It was late. Not light out at all yet. And I'm driving, I got the window down, I'm just kind of taking in the fresh air, and I noticed everything looks brighter. And the next night everything still looked brighter. It's like going to work now, getting out in the middle of the night, I feel not like crushed anymore. Like I feel like I'm not just sunk into this like thing I can't get rid of. And and despite Kat having had what would normally be considered a very bad experience, um I really would let her describe that when she I think she'll be on the podcast next week.
Yay!
I'd definitely rather have her describe that. But I will say that I've noticed, um, you know, we spend all our time together. I always know when like something's wrong, but she doesn't always want to tell me what's wrong because she doesn't really have words for it all the time, you know?
Mm.
Oh, I know
And
that feeling.
oh yeah, yeah. And I've noticed this past week she has been a lot more you know, outgoing towards me, a lot more loving, you know, um and she's just genuinely smiles now that she hasn't done that in a while, and it's been pretty tough. She like we were talking, and rather than just like when I make her laugh kind of smile, like we were talking and I looked over and she just had like a smile, and I was like, you know, I even mentioned it to her because I was like, this is, I don't know how long it's been since, you know, we were just having a conversation and you looked genuinely like happy, you know? And she's like, well, you know, I don't really notice. And I was like, I do. I can see it in you. Like it's there. I said, you may not notice it, but you know, it's building up. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
it's definitely a life changing kind of thing. I don't think I would say to take as much as we did for a first go at it. It technically falls under the heroic amount, as we
Mm.
found out later,
Yeah.
because
Oops.
the amounts that I quoted were doubled
Oops.
earlier. Yeah, yeah. So that was considered a heroic amount in the sense that it was, if you knew what you were doing, courageous. In our position, it was more reckless. So I don't know if you really would call it heroic and not just a fucking dumb shit amount. But yeah, I don't know that I would recommend how much we took. Like that, what we had would have been enough for like 2 goes at it.
My co-host, may I ask to be indulged for a second?
Absolutely.
When do we ever say no?
Thank you, guys. So, B, you touched on a very subject we might as well get into this now. First thing I would like to say is thank you to my co-host for always indulging me in my bullshit. I am annoying as fuck. I get on, because I'm always bugging them on Discord just with, like, hey, I'm doing this on the Outbreak campaign. When B was talking about with depression and things, it wasn't, because yes, I am a huge supporter of psilocybin for use of depression, but before coming into the group, I was with Devin for like a one shot that just fell through, and then he introduced me to this amazing Discord group.
You okay, bud?
Is he there?
Sounds like it needs a minute.
I'm a survivor, and for a while I was in a dark place. I almost got back to that place again, but it's because of these amazing people that I'm back creating again on YouTube that I do what I do now. That's why I love them very much. And that's why when things like this happen for B, it means the world for fucking me. For any of my friends. They mean the world to me. I love them all very much. Man, I know it's a stupid thing just to be, but like I said, it's you guys gave me my light back. You guys gave me the ability to create again. I know what it's like for when you just look and everything is dark. Everything just, you're like, why the fuck do I even get up in the morning? But when you have a great community that you can actually be yourself with, that you can talk, and you do stupid little projects that they're willing to be a part of, that you're like, I know this gets on their nerves. And they're willing to accept your weirdness for who you are as a human being. That can also give you your dreams. That's also another form of dreaming.
Well, isn't that the great part about the internet? Is that we're actually able to talk to each other like this as opposed to like before the internet.
Oh, I just wanted you guys to know.
Dude,
that's why.
Is it because we make you? Is it because we make you laugh?
The day a better. You guys make my day even better every day. And these podcasts I can't wait for. And it means the world to me that you finally got to see a little bit of why I'm so weird with my dream.
Oh, dude, I didn't even get to the part where I fell through reality. And
I just wanted to let you guys know that. I just wanted you to know.
No, I appreciate that, man.
It's everybody needs a community, and that's why I find like the internet is so great. Is that like for all the weird shit that's on the internet, there's also the ability to come together and like find people that have the same interests as you, or that can like make you laugh and you can connect with. And you wouldn't get that if we didn't actually have the internet. Like before the internet, like what would I be doing? I'd be like at home, sad, alone. Like I don't like going out a lot.
But Jen, you don't know how much it means to me though that you play along with my annoyingness on the Outbreak campaign.
Dude, whatever, it's hilarious. I love it.
It means the world to me. Like all of you guys, especially you, Richard. I have finally gotten the melody down for our little project. I finally figured out how I want to have that down for the lyric.
B, let me tell you right now.
I got bad news as
like
far as
the past couple campaigns that I was like on edibles for, I don't remember what happened.
That's not bad news to me. At the end of the day, you know what?
Hey, you were laughing your ass off.
I'm pretty sure I was.
You know what would break my heart is at the end of the day is if no one was having fun. That's all I care about.
Oh, that's all these games are meant for, is for us to have fun.
Oh, it's not community now? Make up your mind.
Hey, we are the community. Like in
Right?
our little Discord, we're the community that holds this
He's
group
just
together.
he's just saying you fell off brand.
Oh,
Yeah.
oops. Am I supposed to be like pushing some kind of brand image here?
I
Yeah.
mean, you were for a minute.
Whatever. I'll do whatever I want, bitch.
All right, but back to mushrooms.
Let's actually
I'm
talk.
jealous
a little
of
bit
you,
more.
Brian,
Sorry.
because I've never done them. And as soon as you mentioned it, that was, I think, when did you take them? That was the 30th?
It was Sunday
Wait.
morning. So wait,
Yeah,
no,
30th.
no, it was Monday morning. So yeah, it was
31st.
31st.
Sunday night because we skipped Lancer for it.
Yeah.
Which
That was
I,
my
I
birthday.
feel like, yeah, I feel like Devin is still a little salty about that.
Dude,
Oh,
I
no.
care
Yeah,
more
that's
about.
fine. He'll get over it.
I care more about you expanding yourself. For me personally, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That's a beautiful experiment, and I wish I was there for that. Like,
Yeah,
literally, I wish
so
I got
could-
an invite.
Yeah, I wish I could have joined in.
Because
Like, I
I've
just
never
wish we,
done
I
that,
wish we
no
could
lie.
have kept talking that night. I honestly just wish I could have kept talking to you that night, like we planned. But fuck that. What you're doing is more important.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean,
Oh, well, I'll be honest. I
sexuality.
probably was not in any real like I wasn't in any headspace to talk.
yeah, you're
I don't know how much or how I managed so much to be written down. Like I gave you the kind of like the Cliff Notes version of it when I posted it. I wrote down quite a bit that was just kind of all over the place. I sort of condensed it down to the parts that made the most sense.
See, like Max and I would like to try shrooms, but the thing is, like, we both agreed that we'd wait until he was out of the military for obvious reasons.
well,
Well,
it's not like it
those-
leaves a trace in your system.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
actually
but I mean,
hours.
we're very strict with the making sure that he's not breaking any rules because he
well, yeah,
wants
you
to
know-
retire fully from the military.
That's true. You know what? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say that he should. You're right. You are correct.
I respect
That is
your
the right
decision.
call.
But
God,
but
Max on shrooms, though.
afterwards,
Like-
after he gets out of the military in another 9 years, is
Yeah, that shit's still fun then, probably.
whatever.
But yeah. Richard, talk to me after this, and we'll get something planned up.
Okay, we'll do.
But yeah, no, it's
It might be a selfish request, but next time you do it, can we stay on chat and talk?
I mean, I'll attempt. I will do my damnedest.
He might need to
that
go
is-
lay down though. Just
That's a
as
very selfish
No,
request. That is a
no.
very, very selfish request. I
Oh.
already know.
Oh, don't worry. I have I can turn my condenser mic towards my bed and just I'll be good. I'd figure a way. I'd make it work. But I will say one of the more interesting things was the fact that my brain became quite musical when I was under the influence there. So I know, Richard, you and I have talked in the past that that I love music, but I find everything that when I learned to play any instruments, I found them to be mechanical.
Yep.
Yeah, I could play them, but I could only in so much as I could play a song. I couldn't like writing a song for me was or making a beat they never made sense. They were always very I don't want to say discordant because it wasn't that. It's just they were like so basic. I had no musical intuition, I guess. But yeah, no. Well, the whole time that I was tripping, I was there was like a beat, a song to the madness, and the song was the things I was hearing, the air conditioner, like we had to turn the music off because it was becoming too intense for Cat. But once the music stopped, it kept going in my mind in its own way, and I've never understood the idea of a jam session, that's never made sense to me.
Mhm.
Like I've hung out with friends while they had a jam session, and it didn't make sense how they were so easily able to follow the rhythm and follow each other, and it made so much sense while I was tripping. Like it made like I will say that while I was under the effects, I was getting a form of synesthesia where the world was starting to take on the color of the music that I was experiencing.
Nice.
For example, at one point, a very mellow, like kind of not necessarily like a Western song, but more like it had like a how should I put it? It just had like kind of like in my opinion, a cowboy-ish feel in the song.
Hmm.
I guess it doesn't make sense, but when I was looking at Cat, like the world kind of became like a sepia color. Like I'm not even like that was the funniest part to me was that like when there was like a nice like electro beat going, it was very like flashes of color and soft lights and blues and yellows and but when I was talking to Kat, that song's playing, it was like everything just turned like a western or a movie that takes place in Mexico. It was like that kind of color.
Yeah.
Like everything
Oh
just took
wow.
on like it was a very interesting like I I have obviously understood the concept of synesthesia, but it's never made sense to me how you could use that to produce music or to make that happen. And it suddenly made so much sense, and that was one of those like tertiary effects that I wasn't expecting but
Hmm.
was so glad to find out.
It's awesome. It's interesting though how people relate different colors to the same mood. Um, for example, Western, any sort of Western song, I think more woody or brown versus a sepia is more like a lighter red or an
Well,
orange
sepia is
tinge.
kind of like a light yellow orange tinge. Like
It,
think of the movie Once Upon a Time in Mexico. It's like that, but
Yeah,
turned
I
up.
know the color. I'm just
Yeah.
having a difficult time to like explaining a color, but
Yeah, well, it was. I guess it wasn't specifically a color. It was like everything
uh,
just kind of took on that sepia tone. Well, be
so,
you good?
oh no, I was gonna say. So next time, I would actually recommend listen to folk music.
I
Listen
I
to
actually
some folk music.
I have.
Specifically, check out Oscar Isaac because Oscar Isaac
mm,
was in a movie called Inside Llewyn Davis. He has the most beautiful singing voice.
Okay.
I mean, he has a famous song called oh God, I'm forgetting the
Hang
name
Me.
of it.
He did a cover for Hang Me. Oh my God, it was so amazing how he did it, man. I'll actually post it in the Discord. Let me pull that up. But that's actually because I was just thinking about how you're experiencing color, and for me personally, when I use mushrooms, I listen to a lot of music because
Oh, it absolutely it was definitely something that I had been hoping more to be able to do, but like I said, the sound became a little too much for her, and I was entirely fine
oh,
turning
okay.
it down for her. It was
Mm.
So the first one I want to recommend is these are both from the movie that he did Inside Llewyn Davis, which is a Coen brothers film, and I will watch anything they do because I love the Coen brothers. This is a song called "Fare Thee Well."
okay.
It's a
Well,
very oh god, it's so beautiful. And then the other one is called "Hang Me." It's "Hang Me, Oh Hang Me," and he's doing folk music, and this is Oscar Isaac doing the songs for these. And my god. And here's the actually funny part is Justin Timberlake's in the movie as well,
Hmm.
and of course it's a Coen Brothers film, so John Goodman's in it. But he actually did a couple of songs with Justin Timberlake in the movie, and God, I hate to say it, they're fucking good, man. I'm a huge fan of folk music.
I was thinking Chris Isaac. God damn it. I was thinking Wicked Game. Ugh.
Oh, you have to. But if you have
That's
not
a good
watched Inside Llewyn Davis, you have to watch this movie, man. I always cry like a little girl. Well, just a little child. I always cry so hard during this movie because it means that, God damn it, it's beautiful. It ends the same way it begins. Oscar Isaac is getting his ass beat in an alleyway.
Hell yeah.
It's so good. And the music, it's really powerful. It's powerful folk music. And yeah, that's why I love Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan has those songs where you're just like, oh my God. I'm just going to start bawling during this. Because of just how much it makes me feel. You know what? That's probably why I like that. Hey, oh God, I'm trying to remember. Let me see what that band is. Is it Little Monsters? Because I think, is it a Swedish or a Norwegian folk band, rock band? But I love their music.
Of Monsters and Men?
Thank you. You actually knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, I listen to them all the time.
God, Little Talks. There we go. That's
Little Talks. Little Talks
I like that song.
will fucking get you, man.
I cry. I cry when I listen to it.
Surprisingly, I really like Dirty Paws, even though I know it's of their music. It's one of the more mainstream ones, but it's pretty good. Just it's cute in a way. It's actually terrible, but it's cute, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
It's a pretty fucked up song. Let's be honest.
All right, Brian. I got some homework, I guess, for you.
Oh,
So, a while ago, I don't know if you remember this, I linked some songs from this band called The Deer Hunter, and they have a giant album, which is just a series of EPs named after colors. And I think the songs that they write for each color corresponds with it very well. So, I kind of just want you to listen to some different songs from different EPs and see if your idea of the tone of the song matches with the color that they're going for. They're one of my favorite bands, so you may not even like them, but they're not like a heavy death metal band or anything. They're kind of
well,
progressive.
I should say that since my experience, I have not been able to imagine Sin. So I would have to, definitely have to do it again to get that.
Right. But no, see, that's the thing though.
Yeah.
Do it sober, see if there was a difference.
Well, I would have to say that it would be pretty difficult in the sense that if they don't match something I had already seen, I don't know that I could come up with that color necessarily.
Or compare something from before the shrooms to after.
Yeah, maybe. I could try. I'll give that a shot. But yeah, no. It was weird. I'll say. When it all kind of wore off, like as it was wearing off, and I was like coming back down. It was like the complete reverse of how it started. Like the images became less real, less intense, I suppose. And things eventually broke back down into fractals and shards of images, if that makes sense. It was like I couldn't I couldn't hold my concentration on an image anymore. So like for example, if I were to have tried to imagine my room again, I would maybe get pieces of my room that would fill in the space around me. And then they would like kind of slowly start to fade away. And by the end of it, the last things that I was seeing were not necessarily fractals, but they were in that same sort of patterning. And they were, it was almost like a sketch, like a last fading sketch in my mind. And I will say, and this is going to sound super cheesy, the last thing that I saw in my mind was the image of my wife's face, which is for those that heard me previously
God, that's
talk.
beautiful. That's fucking beautiful, man.
For those
God
that
damn it,
heard
that's
me talk
beautiful.
about this before the podcast, I had always talked about one of the things that hurt the most was the knowledge that no matter how much I want to or wanted to, at no point would I ever be able to remember anyone's face in my mind, let alone my wife's. When I tried to imagine a face, my mental narrator would describe the details that I last remember of their face, and obviously I would put that together as to what they should look like, and I could identify that. So I mean, I can identify a person I've met before, but it's not the same as having seen them. And so I will say, as far as you know, long-term life goals that maybe are might minute to some, it was I would say that was like an achievement unlocked kind of moment, like
Mm-hmm.
I saw her face, and that was at the end. It was like, even if I never get to do this again, that was enough, you know and it just it made me feel content, like it made me feel all right with
Mhm.
everything.
Um, I think it's important for anyone listening to this to know how you think, because it's a trade-off for being amphantasic. Mind walking people through on how you're able to think, since you can't think of images.
Right. So, okay, I've mentioned a couple times my mental narrator, um, and this is normally the point where people kind of think that it sounds like I'm crazy, like I'm insane to
No,
explain to
no,
explain.
no, you don't.
Oh,
You
no, no,
do not
no.
to me.
Well, when I explain the mental narrator portion, a lot of people are like, they understand the mental narrator means that voice that you like you forgot something, like let's say you were walking out of the house and you forgot your car keys in the house. That little voice in the back of your head that's very plain, that just goes, "Don't forget the keys." And you go, "Right, the keys." And you walk back and go get them. That voice for me is not just when I've forgotten something, or when I'm, like a momentary, like, oh, that thing, I gotta remember that. It's not just that, it's all of the time, like 100% of the time. Like the things that I'm saying right now, it's like I'm listening to a mental monitor, if that makes sense. Where there's like a somewhat delay and you're hearing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think all of the time. And more than that, I think in multiple tones, I guess, tones of voice, pitch, or voices in general, entirely different voices. My mind will capture a voice that's interesting to it, and sometimes I will think in that voice or that accent for months, and I have sometimes little to no control over it. Like, it's like getting a song stuck in your head when I start thinking in a voice or an accent. And sometimes, I can choose to make that my mental voice for a while if I feel like it. It's but it's all of the time. It's like it's not quite like having a second me in there, so it's not like a multiple personalities type issue, but it's like constantly having someone that I bounce ideas off of, and essentially think of it like that filter that you have where it stops you from saying a word that you shouldn't say at a bad time, or like cursing in front of your boss or something. That filter is, instead of just being that filter that stops you and goes, wait, that filter will go, no, you shouldn't do that, this is why you shouldn't do that. And it's like I'll have a conversation with that filter in the split second that it takes me to have that thought. And I feel like my mind is sometimes running far too fast, uh which, I mean, to be honest, could be a number of undiagnosed things.
Yeah.
But But yeah, I definitely feel that somewhat it never stops feeling. And and that probably is attributed to that. Um so like I guess I used to always have problems passing like math classes when I was younger, because when you're taking a math class,
my
they tell you
god.
they tell and
So
expect you
weird.
they expect you to I know it's totally weird that someone would be bad at math.
No, no, B. After you guys are done, I really have to. Oh my god.
Right. Oh, okay. So
Oh my god.
yeah, so like instead of just like writing the problem down and solving it on paper like most people would, um I would solve them in my mind by having each step narrated by a different tone of voice or a different pitch. And I would move up and down the steps in my mind by repeating them in those pitches so that I didn't lose my place. And I could go backwards and forwards in different equations. And but the second I started writing uh like I started writing down the work, it became very difficult for me to keep it all straight, because as I'm working through those numbers in my head, trying to put numbers down and constantly switching between different parts of the equation, I would tend to put to mix numbers up. And for the longest, I thought I had some form of dyslexia, um, relating specifically to numbers. But the thing is, I've never had a problem writing numbers outside of when I'm doing specifically math. Um, because as I said, while I'm thinking of different parts of the equation, I'm trying to write down the steps that I'm supposed to be working on, and it would cause me to just mistranslate numbers that I'm trying to put down. And but I could solve the problem in my head. I would come to the right answer, but the work was either never right or I didn't show it because it was too hard for me to constantly have to go back over it. Um, but yeah, so that's I think what he's trying to get at is that a lot of times my brain will feel I feel like I'll go into overdrive when it comes to certain things like storytelling and plot keeping. Um, I'm able to run multi-year long campaigns. I've run a year and a half long campaign with Jen, for example, that I never wrote a single note down, not once. I've never needed to. I can keep plots and character arcs and development all in my head all the time. And I feel like it's because in my opinion my mind doesn't generate graphics per se, that it's like I'm able to process more information than the average bear.
So you're like the DDoS of people.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
It,
Uh,
Uh,
B,
I want to ask one thing though,
oh,
because
sure.
this is a really interesting subject. Because honestly, it fucking blew my mind. Like maybe 2 to 3 years ago at this point, I even learned what it was. But as far as the pitches go, do you have a particular pitch in your mind that you absolutely loathe, but because of what that pitch represents?
If this makes sense, it's well, everyone knows that you don't hear the voice that you think you hear when you're talking.
Right.
You hear a voice that's somewhat lower due to bone conduction from when you're talking, and so
Mm-hmm.
you think your voice sounds deeper than it does.
Unfortunately.
Which, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say that I've not particularly had one because I had never up until this point uh heard. Well, I mean, I had heard my voice, but I'd never heard it in such detail as I had since we started recording
Mm-hmm.
podcasts and sessions. That I realized that the exact pitch of my voice is innately grating to my own ears, and
Well, I have
That's
the same
common.
issue. I don't like to listen to my own voice, which is why it's so like it's hard for me to listen to the games that we play just because I can hear myself.
Oh no! I know that everyone dislikes their own voice. But you have to understand my internal narrator, my internal voice.
Oh god, I'm a freak.
It will sometimes affect what I sound like now when I'm speaking. Like if that makes sense. Like I don't hear always my internal voice that I hear. I like my actual speaking voice is the way I hear it. I start reading it in or not reading it, hearing it in the voice that I hear now when I listen to these podcasts, and it deeply upsets me.
Mhm.
I've been told my voice is fine,
It's
and
fine.
I've also been told I was a very good boy. So um, yeah.
Interesting. It's I don't know. It's funny because it's like it just proves me right that perception is king, and it's kind of a common saying, but depending on who you talk to, on the big difference in like any civilization, religion, any outlook, I guess, it's always perception, and even the most minute things can be so drastically different on how to gauge them from person to person. You don't even like. That's why I like brought up color, for example, because one one person's idea of purple is like another person's light blue. You know, it's crazy.
No,
Like the
yeah.
dumb dress thing.
The what?
Well,
The
the golden blue, or was it golden white and blue and gold dress? People
it
couldn't
was
tell if it
black
was
and
blue.
gold and blue and white.
From
Right. It was something
Cinderella?
like that. No.
No. It was a long time ago, and it was like a picture of this dress, and some people saw it as black and gold, and other people saw it as like white and blue or something.
I saw it as black and blue.
Something like that.
Something. It was either white, gold, or black, blue, something like that.
Okay.
Some people saw it one way, other people saw it another way, and there
Before
was this whole internet war about it.
there was. Before we run out of time, I really want to know what B was talking about. He seemed really excited, so let's hear that.
So, it's what I was thinking about this entire time is that from B's perspective, I'm on the complete opposite of the spectrum. I have what people would consider a very, very hyperactive imagination.
Same.
Oh yeah. Hyperphantasia is a thing. It's the opposite.
I'm constantly daydreaming about weird shit.
But also at the same time, I actually have a photographic memory. But when people talk about it, there's only been one special I've watched where they've actually touched on what it really is like to have a photographic memory.
Well,
It
see,
is one of the-
B, I have something on that. Is like I don't have a photographic memory, but I have an extremely visually attached memory.
Mhm.
Yes.
Where like I generally most of the memories that I can remember very well will require the image in my head for me to remember them. Like I can remember text really well. It's why I did good on my tests when I was younger. Is like read the book once and I can remember basically what's in it by remembering what the page looked like.
Would you like an example?
Yeah.
I want to go look at the dinosaurs. That was me when I was 7 years old in Germany. We went to Phantasialand. I was wearing a blue windbreaker that had a white trim around the sleeves of the hand. I had this stupid fucking mullet.
I had a mullet when I
Mom
was
talked
7
to me.
too.
What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with your
And had
parents?
I was wearing a black t-shirt that had a black trim and skinny tight jeans, and I was wearing these stupid off-brand Reeboks.
What were they, Rebooks?
I can still remember the smell from Phantasialand, especially when you got to the log ride. That off seawater where it tried to attain the salt smell, but you can still smell the off chemical bit of it. The feeling of the water hitting me when the Jaws robot came out. to splash at you. Seeing King Kong holding that dumb blonde in her hand. Me, my mom, my grandmother, my sister, all there in Aphantasia land. I can still remember the tones of people's voices at that time in the age. It goes beyond just remembering, like, oh, it's remembering. You remember sights, you remember smells, you remember the way people, the tone of speaking for people, and that's also part of, God, it sounds like I'm speaking of like a fucking cartoon, but that's also part of the fucking curse. You don't control what you remember. So you can be sitting there one day and then all of a sudden have where you are literally like having an inception moment. You are in that moment and you're like, I don't fucking want to remember this shit.
Yeah.
But you have to go through it. And so the way I combat that is I'm always reading books. Like, I'll be reading 4 books at a time. I read. And I love math. And that's when B was talking about how I was like, dude, when my senior year, I graduated when I was 17, and I will always remember, to help my dad get his C++ programming, I took his trigonometry class. I had not done any form of math work in over a year, and I got a fucking B in that class. And that was trig. And I had never done any kind of math work like that. And I was like, holy shit, damn. But I love it. I love numbers. It's fun. It's fun figuring out patterns, figuring out the solutions to things like that for myself. And that's how I learned martial arts. And that's how I met my sensei when I was in college, is that he's like, oh, I don't have to explain the theory. I don't have to explain the idea of what you're doing. I show you the technique once, and it's immediately implanted in your head. Well, guess what? I'm going to beat the shit out of you for over like almost 3 years, and you'll know all these techniques. That's how I learned judo. That's how I learned Wing Chun. That's how I learned wushu. That's how I learned Aijutsu. That's how I learned all this bullshit. All to keep the memories from overflowing my head, from making me have to relive shit that I don't want to relive.
Yeah, that's the catch of it, isn't it? Oh,
Exactly. It's always trying to play. You know, there's a meme of the YouTube load bar where everyone's like, "Yeah, you're gonna do it. You can do it," and you find out it's the YouTube loading bar ahead of the buffering bar.
Yeah.
That's honestly how my mind feels. Where I'm like, okay, I'm just ahead of this, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, intrusive thoughts still exist. You can find yourself balls deep in feels before you know it, and then you're like, I didn't ask for this. Brain.
Exactly.
Can we go back to something cool like that? Like one awesome hike I did like a year back. No, can't do that. Oh, okay. I'm slave to the thing I create my own personality around. It's interesting.
And that's why I actually gravitated towards art, because there's always so much more to learn about art, like especially with writing. I will never be as good as my little bro. My fucking little brother, he's 24 now, but he is God damn it, he is the best writer you will ever encounter. This motherfucker had one of the best fan fictions because he took Superman and put him in Naruto. But I swear to God, he would make you cry, dude. Because that's how good of a writer he is. That's why I'm always proud of my little brother. I just wish he would use his gift a little bit more, because he would make people a lot happier. We actually used to do a webcomic together. This was the first time I did a webcomic. Do you guys know what a Sprite comic is?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, never heard of it.
We did a different version. We did a Sprite manga because we took every anime trope known to man, but we combined it with stoner humor, and we called it Stoner Entertainment. And we used Disgaea sprites to make a comic. We actually recolored, redesigned all the sprites and everything. God,
that
I'm so
sounds
proud.
like a pain in the ass.
It was, but dude, it was great just to make someone smile. If I can make someone smile from some stupid fucking joke I make, that's all I need. Who cares?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot to get that payoff, but for me, it just makes me happy for when I see that someone's like, "Hey, that's pretty funny."
Yeah.
Isn't that why we're doing this?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, well, I guess, actually, look at the time. It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
it is that
leave it
time
clock.
again.
It is leave o'clock. Yeah. I didn't mean to sound so dismissive of anything. I was like, oh, look at the actual time.
Yeah.
That was with the most literal.
Ryan
sense
trying to ditch out on everyone.
No. I was busy. I was at a very important store getting very important products that would make me proud.
What kind of products? Oh, no, you told me before, huh?
I'll send some pictures in Discord.
Let's be honest, we're all gonna
California,
keep
right?
talking in the chat after we stop streaming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all legal in California, though, right?
No, it's legal, but I'm not sure what Twitch's rules on that are.
Exactly.
I don't know.
He's being respectful.
Okay.
Of a,
B,
horribly
do the
run
outro.
company. All right.
Right. Well, this has been another episode of the Dirty Nerdy Podcast. And all I have to do is just ask. Did you like that? I know I did.
I feel dirty after that. No UFOs. That's going to be next episode. This
Yeah,
was
make sure to do that.
balls deep in the feels. That's the name of this episode.
Yeah, oh, I know, dude. I was having a hard time, like, staying